get grayed out. So, but when I uncheck it though, when I just check here, I go to sort and filter. I want to sort A to Z. And so now it's sorted on by last name. However, I want to scroll down and look right here. So you'll notice that I have these two names here, and they are not in alphabetical order. So by sorting only in last name, I don't get true alphabetical order. If I want true alphabetical order, what I want to use is sort, but I want to use a custom sort. So I want to come back over here, and I want to go to custom sort, and then I'm going to have add level, and we'll say first name. So now I'm going to sort by last name, then by first name. So I'll click OK. And then now you'll notice the names have been switched. So now it's true alphabetical order. So whenever I add information in, whenever I'm putting names into a database, once I get all the names in, then I'm going to do that sort. But I'm going to make sure that when I custom sort it, I do last name and then first name. And you'll see that you'll tell here because you've got the arrow here, and you've got an arrow here telling you that that's the way it's done. One of the nice things about this is you can always just go down to the end of your table. You can click here, add a new name, and then just resort it, and it'll automatically go into place. So it's not like you have to go into your table here and then start adding rows inside of it to get people's names in the right location. Just put them at the bottom, and then you can just use the resort it with custom sort, and they'll automatically go to where they need to be. Now the second thing is find. You can do find one of two ways. You can go up here to the home tab and click find and select and choose find. Or you can hit Control F on your keyboard, and that'll bring the find up as well. And it looks like this immediately. You'll notice you've got find, you've got replace, you've got find all, find next options. So we're going to look at a few of those things. So on this find what, I'm going to just type in a name here and hit enter. And you'll notice it takes me right to that cell. Now, if I'm looking for multiple instances of something, for example, if you take that other name, Herod, there were two people. If I click find all, it'll show me both here. So whenever I'm looking for multiple instances of something that I'm trying to find, I want to use find all. If I'm looking for something specific, then I can just use find. So you'll notice it shows me both, and so I can just click on one of the two and then choose them, or I can just go to find next and it'll take me to the next record. Now that's even more so when I go over here to say, let's just use column G, find, and let's just say 51. So find all. So there's two 51s in this table. So here's one at row 127. The other is here at 114. So you can use find to find one thing. If you're looking for multiple instances of something, then use find all. And like I said, you can use find from up here, or you can hit Control F on the keyboard and go right to it. Now, the other thing you can use is you'll notice is find and replace. And find and replace is really, really good for whole scale changes in a document when you're looking for something. For example, let's say that I decide that I want to give every student who scored a 50 3 points. So they go from a 50 to a 53. So I could come up here to find and select, and I can hit replace. So I want to replace 50, and I want to replace it with 53. And so I have the options of replacing a single time, but I want to do replace all. So all done, we made 31 replacements. So there were 50, the score 50 was 31 in there 31 times, so I've made it a 53. Now I could do the same thing with 51 and 52. So every student who scored a 51, a 52, or a 50 went to a 53. So that allows me then to replace all throughout. But I can do this with text, I can do it with numbers, So I can do that with a lot of things. For example, if you had a document with a comma in it, you wanted to pull the comma out, you could put a comma in there and then just leave the replace with blank and it would take it out. So the next thing we want to look at here then, we'll go back to find, is you'll see here this options. Now this is an advanced way of doing things. When I click on options, what's really nice about this is right here. So I can change this to workbook. Now let's say, for example, I'm looking for one particular student. I can type in that student's name, and then within the workbook, it will find that particular student everywhere in the workbook. So in this case, I definitely want to use find all. So there's that one, and that would be across, if I had multiple pages, it would show me all the instances of that student's name. So for example, let's say that for some reason this student had a name change, which does happen. You could go in there and do it this way and find that student's name, and you could actually go in here to replace, if this was the only student, and replace it with a new name. And you could do that across the entire workbook. At the same time, you can choose to search by rows or columns. You could also look in formula. So if you were looking from a formula perspective, you could find stuff in a formula. So that's another instance here you can replace with formulas, different things. So for example, if you were using an if then, and you were saying, for example, if something, let's say that if column C equals 10, then change it to maybe, or make it red or something. You could do that, and you could actually use this to go in here and then change that to say maybe 9 is going to change to red. So there's a lot of things in here within find and replace that are really simple but very helpful. The biggest things to make sure of is if you're looking for a multiple instance of something, use find all. If you're looking for single instance, just use find in its regular sense. And then when sorting, always try to use a custom sort, so that way you control exactly the exact alphabetical order or any kind of order that you want something to be in. For example, I could come over here and sort these by gender and ethnicity in the order that I wanted them to display in. So maybe from this standpoint, I want to make sure that all of my females are at the top. So then I could sort them that direction. So there's a lot of different ways you can use these two little simple features.